Hi, students. Nice to see you. Let me dial up chapter 2 and 3. We're going to combine this. Let's give it a shot. All right, here we are with chapter 2, which is on sense of place. This is my favorite geographic concept, sense of place. So remember when we talked about the 5 themes of geography, we talked about space, how geography is a spatial science. Place, what makes a place unique? Regions, how we divide up like big portions of the world or portions of the countries or however we do it. We divide it into manageable parts called regions. Movement, could be people, could be cars, could be products, could be inventions, could be innovations, could be trends. Movement of anything we like to look at as geographers, how it affects places it moved away from or how it moved into. We look at all of that stuff. And then the last one is human environmental relationships. And we will talk about that a lot in national parks. But today it's on sense of place. Remember, sense of place is taking a place in with all of your senses. What makes that place unique? Think of this. Think of one of your favorite places to go. For instance, mine would be Laguna Beach. I love Laguna Beach. I love everything about it as far as the way it feels, the way it smells, what to look at. You know, there are headlands that jut out, there are bays, there are waves, there are surfers, there are children playing on the sand, there are guys playing basketball and hoops. There is the scent of actually the sea breeze blowing one way and BJ's Pizza blowing the other way. Okay, so lots of things to breathe in. Think of walking on the boardwalk. You know, it's made of old wood, so you want to make sure you've got sandals on or flips on or something because you don't want to get any splinters. Think of walking on the sand, what that feels like, the difference between dry sand and wet sand, or maybe even getting your feet wet, right? Or feeling the sea breeze, how it feels. It might feel refreshing, it might feel a little sticky. From the saltwater spray, or climbing over the rocks and looking at the tide pools. And there's so many things to do in Laguna that I love it. Maybe it's the memories you create. Who went with you when you went? What did you do? What did you talk about? Okay, all of that captures a sense of place. It's the relationship between the people and the place. Okay, place attachment, place identity, even place dependent. So sense of place, just like this, we talked about it already, taking a place in with all your senses. What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What's the texture like? How does this place make you feel? Is there any other place that makes you feel the same way, or is this unique? Okay, and the same is true with national parks. Okay, what's your favorite national park? Why is it? Maybe it's you went with your friends and you had a blast. Maybe it's you went with your family as a little kid. You know, maybe it's the memories you created, or maybe it's, you know, hiking on top of glaciers or mountaintops, or, you know, whatever it is, you've got your favorites, okay? And it's magic. It has this pull on you. I love these pictures. These are pictures of my friends, kids and grandkids, okay? And look at these, genuinely having a blast. That's what it's all about, creating the memories that will last a lifetime. That makes that place very unique. Maybe it is walking out to your favorite fishing area. Maybe you want to go all by yourself. So it's peaceful, it's quiet. You're out there by yourself just enjoying every bit of nature. Or you might be walking out to meet your family and friends, and there's a whole group waiting for you. Okay, all of those create just beautiful memories. It might be that you are going to spectacular places, places like no other. Look at the beautiful arches carved in these rocks. It seems like a very arid place, and yet you know the carving here was somehow from water. How did that happen? When did that happen? Okay, my friend, just my friend and her husband, they go to these different places, especially in Utah. Utah has the Mighty 5 national parks, and you can see them all in a week and just enjoy every bit of them. But one of them they go to is Capitol Reef. Maybe you've never heard of it. That's why they go there, because it's not crowded. And so they can walk out and be, look at this, in the arch area by themselves. So cool. Rocky Mountains National Park. This is my family, my son, my grandson, right here as well. And then some of their friends playing games. Think of this. Maybe at a national park, you push yourself to hike the tallest mountain, or you try something new like stand up paddle or kayaking as a kid, or whatever it is. Or maybe it's being by the campfire and playing games and reflecting over your day and eating all the snacks and just really, really enjoying your time together. I like this. It's the time to return to childhood. Think of how magical it was when you were a kid and you went to a local park. And then you amp that up by going to a national park. Even as an adult, you just have those memories that are childlike. So awesome. Beautiful places. How would you describe this place? This is on the East Coast, a national park on the East Coast. My friend was there. This isn't my picture. This is her picture. And I look at this and I feel a little nervous, a little apprehensive. It looks a little haunting. I mean, it does look beautiful and serene, but it looks like what could be around the other side over here? Maybe something dark, something looming. Look at me. I think I watch too much Dateline on TV. I get all freaky. It's a very beautiful place. All right. So what does sense of place mean to you? How would you define it to someone else? I like this. Artist Alan Gusso described place as a piece of environment claimed by feelings. That so encapsulates a sense of place. It's what makes it unique to you. What is your relationship to this place? Okay. Sometimes places become more meaningful to us the more we learn about them. So if you go visit the USS Arizona Memorial in Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, it can make you cry, and it could at the same time make you want to come back. Okay. Manzanar in California, Arlington National Cemetery. It makes me cry just thinking about it. My nephew is buried there. All right. So the gates of emotion we have to go through to go to these places. Maybe it's about critical thinking and how you understand a place. Like if you went to Thomas Edison National Historical Park, you kind of have to put yourself in his position, his shoes, and see what was he thinking about? How did he create these things, and so on. Okay, or thinking about life back in the day, like New Orleans Jazz National Historic Park, or St. Gardens National Historic Site, or Carl Sandburg Home National Historic Site. Your book explains this by asking this question: what do I know when I am in this place that I can know nowhere else? This is so good to think about whenever we're at any national park. Okay. All right. For this, I would like you to write for chapter 2. You're going to type up 5 observations. Remember, these are the things that stand out to you. Okay. And then 2 discussion questions, deeper thinking here. And I want you to come up with questions that would really enable a good conversation. All right, let's move on to chapter 3. We're going to do both in one time. Chapter 3 is talking about the campaign for conservation. So it's talking really about different people who've been very valuable in saving our national parks, in conservation and environmental issues and so on. And I like this quote right off the top. It's by Frederick Law Olmsted. Actually, it's by his son, so he's junior and versus senior. But to conserve the scenery and the natural and historic objects and the wildlife therein, and to provide the enjoyment of the same in such manner and by such means as will leave them unimpaired for the enjoyment of future generations. Okay, so he's talking about how do we save and preserve these beautiful scenic places and at the same time let public use go on. I mean, you know what people do in national parks? I mean, many of them just hike and enjoy it and try and take out all the trash they bring in and all that. But a lot of people don't. Okay, so my question to you is, how are we going to do that? How are we going to balance preservation and public use of our beautiful national parks? All right, there are a few other questions that came up during this chapter, and you don't need to write about these answers, but I really want you to consider what you would write, because maybe later on you'll be seeing questions like this. But your chapter 3 talks about many people who contributed to influence and protecting of our special places like national parks. So John Muir, of course, we talked about him, and Teddy Roosevelt, also Franklin D. Roosevelt. We mentioned Jimmy Carter, who saved 47 million acres. That's pretty impressive. In addition, we could add some of our poets and painters and writers and all of that. Henry David Thoreau. We could add Gifford Pinchot, Aldo Leopold, George Perkins Marsh, Lawrence Rockefeller, Rachel Carson we talked about. They've all contributed, and they all have historical sites named after them, or residences that are saved as historical landmarks. Now, my question to you is this: if you were thinking about someone right now who has made a big contribution in saving our national parks or environmental protection and so on, do you think they should have a park, a historical monument, a historical site named after them? Who would it be? Who are you thinking about? Another thing to talk about in this chapter was Hetch Hetchy. Now that they consider the country's first great conservation controversy. And what was this all about? Who were the players? President Woodrow Wilson's administration approved the damming that went on at Hetch Hetchy, and it was against the conservation wishes. And we know that if you dam something, you fill it in with water beyond that part, right? So what could have been another Yosemite Valley is gone, and it's gone forever. Another place that has controversy is Shenandoah National Park, and that is on the east part of the country, and in Smoky Mountains. And it is another controversial site in that their exhibit there explains the painful displacement of local families to make the park. So in essence, people who lived in that area were pushed out so we could create a national park. There's racial segregation that taints the creation of this park. Wonder what they have done to combat this. What have they done that would ease the segregation and build integration? Okay. So for this chapter, again, you're going to type up your 5 observations. What stands out to you, okay? And then 2 discussion questions, and you're going to turn them in as chapter 3 in assignments. All right, hope we have some good discussion coming up soon. All right, take care. See ya. Sheesh, babe. I'm just getting all the clanging of lids and pots and pans.
You'd already done before that.
No, I'm recording it right now. It's all right, I don't care.
No, you said see you all later, and that's why.